On today's video, we're back to Lost Kingdom 37, and this time 283 and 309 decided to push for one last damage shot. They are double rallying the level 8 pass that Kingdom 279 picked up in the previous video, and we have 8 rally reports, double rally reports, that show Attila Takeda, Edward and Yi Song-ye going up against a pass, and a few different combinations of commanders as 279 try to hold as best as they can. 283 and 309 inflicting massive damage, and then we'll look at how things shaped up to today. So sit back, enjoy the video, drop a like on it, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Today we're back to Light and Darkness 37. Previously, in yesterday's video, card up on the top right if you didn't see it, Kingdom 279 from Light side took away the passes from Kingdom 283, but Kingdom 283 and 309, who share that zone, set up those passes so that even if 279 take it, for them to build a flag into the zone would have been an impossible job by using farms blocking the area of the first few flags you can build. Now, once all that was said and done, the folks of 283 and 309 left themselves opportunities to quick build flags and potentially hit these passes without having to break their frontline defense. So this is a double rally on a pass. Those two rallies are an Attila Takeda and an Edward Yi Song-ye. And the reason those two were picked, obviously Attila Takeda is the most nasty broken rally combination in Rise of Kingdoms. Even though the nerf did help a little bit, we've seen a little bit of changes, and you'll see that in Thursday's video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You guys knew that 56.4% of you are still not subscribed. What are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell. So the reason those commanders were picked, Attila Takeda, obvious. Edward Yi Song-ye was picked because more often than not, the way people are countering Attila Takeda is with infantry. And what counters infantry? Archers. If you don't know this about Rise of Kingdoms, the three types of troops we have, infantry, cavalry, and archers, kind of counter each other. So infantry counters cavalry, cavalry counters archers, and archers counter infantry. So by having cavalry Attila Takeda and infantry on the pass, Edward Yi Song-ye is the perfect combination, or well, Edward Tamaris would have probably done a better job, is a great combination to do massive damage. Now, 279 seemed to have experimented a little bit with the commanders they put on the pass for defending. There is one pair which they did hit at some point, and it's the best counter for Attila Takeda. That's right, we're going to show it to you in this video. That report doesn't look like it. I think that the tree on the Constantine or on the Charles, one of the two of them, wasn't really great, but I'll show you on Thursday's video a much better report that'll reflect that. In this first report, we're seeing a Constantine Yi Song-ye holding a pass, and that got destroyed both by Edward and Tamaris. Looks like there was a Tamaris on this report. Now there's a couple of reports with Tamaris, others with Yi Song-ye. Just apparently, I don't remember half of them. What do you know? Anyway, in this specific scenario, picking Yi Song-ye to put on the pass is a huge mistake. Why? Like mentioned in the previous video, again, if you haven't seen it, card up on the top right, the mechanics of passes make it so that only 3 marches can hit a pass. Now, the whole point of having a Yi Song-ye in the structure is because he has area of effect attacks which hit in a circular area 5 marches nearby the opposition. However, remember that a pass, as long as it belongs to the side defending, obviously, only half of that circle has enemies while the other half has friends. On top of that, unless you are counter-rallying the rally and drawing marches close to the pass, there's really no reason for anyone to be near the pass. It's not like a flag where open field combat can happen near the flag and then that AoE can catch a lot of damage. In a pass, you're very limited to how much space that AoE has, and to make matters worse, most people are really savvy to it. More often than not, Yi Sung-ye in a structure, in a flag more specifically, catches people who are drawn into open field fights near the structure, and in passes, that's really not the case. Wu Zetian and Yi Sung-ye also had a very, very tough time. Those were very painful things to get from a Tamaris, and Edward Tamaris once more, and Edward Tamaris. Maybe all of them were Edward Tamaris, and for some weird reason, I remembered Edward Yi Sung-ye in the beginning. An even better combination, even nastier combination that does much more damage. Wu Zetian is not what you want here. Is definitely not what you want here, but this is what you want. This right here is what you want. Constantine, Charles Martel. Those are the guys right there. You can see that report was much, much better than the previous one. And in here we had a little bit of a different rally hitting it. You know, the cool thing about these folks of 283 and 309 is that they consistently change things up. They made sure to change things up a little bit. We had a Saladin Khan rally hitting at some point, but more often than not, there were Attila Takedas, and in between a few rallies to kind of try to make the folks of 279 change their defenses, and then bam, this is a double cavalry rally right here. And listen, personally, I prefer seeing the cavalry and archer rally into an infantry pass or even flag over two cavalries per se. But again, I'm not necessarily sure this was in the intention. I think that a couple of these double rallies, they intentionally tried to throw off 279 to make them switch the commanders on the wall, because 283 and 309 realized that that is the better combo to defend against Attila Takeda. In here, it happened. Charles Martel went to the front instead of Constantine, and that probably caused a little bit of issues along the way. After all, the one thing that made the pairing of Constantine at the front and Charles Martel at the back so good against Attila Takeda was the latest nerf that happened to our friend Attila, and while that happened, Constantine gained himself a nice little buff. So probably a better idea to put that Constantine at the front. Again, on Thursday's video, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so you see that video. We'll see a much better report that reflects how well Constantine and Charles Martel can hold against an Attila Takeda. And we actually saw it in here as well. The closest report you'll see pretty much out of everything was that specific pairing. In here, Wu Zetian and Sun Tzu are also a very, very big difference. The closer losses, I think it was about 40,000 more for the folks of 279, was when they had indeed Constantine and Charles on the wall. And it definitely seems like changing up the types of commanders you're using for double rallies worked really well for 283 and 309. Massive shout out to those two kingdoms. That was very smart to send two double rallies that were different. It kind of threw the defense off. They kept changing commanders again and again instead of maintaining that elite pairing, which they did have on the third double rally. But as all good things every good thing comes to an end. Everything comes to an end at some point. 279 realized, listen, we're taking tons of damage, and this really makes no sense. We can give up this pass. We can go retake it. It's okay. TT, we're starting to lose a little bit too much power. They're losing a little bit too many troops. Folks are starting to really get damaged. A few other alliances along the way, and folks from 279 were not necessarily around, so the pass eventually fell. 279 fell back from it, and DG took it. What came after was a lot of open field fighting, as well as trading back and forth the pass. But at the end of the day, DG managed to hold on to the pass for a little bit, and they even managed to send some rallies out to flags along the way. We'll see a few of those flag reports in this video as well in a moment. But here, for now, that last final push. I checked out 283 and Darkness out of this Light and Darkness 2 videos ago. And I was proven wrong, and I mentioned it last video, and I'm saying it again. The resilience out of 283 and of 309 is really admirable. 09WA and the company of 309 and the folks of 283 against the phone charges. are really, really, really impressive. How 283 lost a substantial amount of Titans and still managed to hold on, and the cooperation between 309 and 283 remains, even though their side is probably going to get defeated in this event, was really cool to see. And it gave these guys a little bit of a chance to, you know, we lost. Okay, you can gloat, you can do your thing. But before we leave, we're just going to make sure we make it hurt just a little bit more. Make sure that when you guys talk about that victory, you also remember that there was a little bit of a, at the end, that could have not happened, might have been avoided, but they definitely didn't let you get out cheap. And those were massive losses to the folks of 279. Again, it doesn't mean anything bad against 279. Once more, that's how war works. It's just really cool to see that a kingdom that went through what 283 and 309 went through is still capable of putting up a fight again, which is what I really want to see happening in Light and Darkness more. We've seen multiple times folks who after the first defeat just fall back and that's it. There was a conversation about how expensive maintaining war is long term, which I can definitely understand, but at the end of the day, the problem in wars, in my opinion, is not necessarily the length of them, but rather the intensity of them. If folks start retreating and then attacking again, leaving areas and then trying to retake it consistently through wars, then wars would last longer but would be less intense, which would mean less expensive. A good way, in my opinion, to war it out in Rise of Kingdoms is not hold our ground until the last set of troops die, but rather, okay, take this flag, take this zone, we're gonna regroup, we're gonna let you feel comfortable, we're gonna smack you back and take that zone back. Of course, flag costs and resources and all that needs to be taken in account, but I feel like if folks stop going all in for the first 2 hours and then that's it, everybody would have much better time in the events, in every event. And this is a great example of it. 283 and 309 came back into it and made it more fun for both them and 279 overall. A few of these reports of the flags that were hit. 09WA also took the pass at some point and did rally a few flags. They rallied also flags that attempted to get into their territory. It was really nice to see that they still had what it takes to get through this and move on to the next event. If there's one thing I would like to ask from the next upcoming Light and Darkness set, which is my set, the first kingdoms, Kingdom 1 through 272, is allow the ability in a war for it to not be 100% at all freaking time, non-stop. Allow for the war to take its course in a slower manner. Maybe if it means that, one side asks for a ceasefire for 24 hours just to, it's not a defeat, but hey, we've been fighting it out for a while. I see that we are both losing substantial amounts. I'm losing a little bit more than you are. Are you down to do a small ceasefire? Perhaps, you retreat a little bit, you double flag along, put double or triple flags just to keep the other side busy. You don't fight for those flags too much, but just use up a couple of hours, days, whatever it is to regroup, regather your thoughts, regather your morale and push in again. I'd like to see that Light and Darkness becomes that rather than what it was previously. Lost Kingdom still is, which is full on 100% intensity for 2 days and that's it. If as a community we allow ourselves and allow our wars to be like that, then I feel like we'll have more wars that last longer, which allow everybody to enjoy the wars more. And of course, those who are stronger than the others will win regardless. So will the intensity versus allowing it to drag a little bit change anything? I'm not entirely sure. And this final report really shows more dead troops on one side, but the other side losing much more power. And so this is where this Lost Kingdom stands today. This is the past we watched in the previous clips, and right now things are looking rough for the folks of 283. They have been completely pushed back. They're burning. Everything here is going crazy. You can see these circles are burning. I see that the folks of 309 are still here. Their forts are burning, but I haven't seen anyone anywhere nearby. Only the territory remains. And so it looks like that final push was really it. And at this stage, it's just a matter of achieving the event's goals, which are to burn your opposition's buildings. As you can see, GTT are working towards destroying this circle. And there's another circle burning up here that the folks of 279, man, I've been mixing those a little bit now. 279 LFAM in 16 hours burned this through. All the Alliance honor and stuff, as well as all the occupation buffs, are out the window. And if we go take a look at the light and darkness tab, it is 4-2. That is right. The folks in darkness actually managed to get 2 points by burning. I believe they went through a level 9 pass. We're seeing here conflicts like crazy happening, which we might go take a look at and might need to have another video very soon. Those level 9 passes are a very, very interesting thing. And if we go take a peek, somewhere along the way, the folks of 309 went in and burned some of these buildings. That's right. Even after you lost Kingsland and you lost the center area, it doesn't mean you're gonna lose the event. Through the level 9 passes, which we're going to talk about, I guess, in one more video from Lost Kingdom 37, which, to be honest with you guys, I just saw this right now. I didn't really notice that this happened, and this is a very interesting thing. We'll talk about this in a separate video. Do not worry. We have all the strategy available on the channel right here. But it looks like, really, the folks of 309 managed to take this pass away from, I don't remember which kingdom these guys are, dropped a fort as close as they could to all 3 of these of the camps, and then now they're trying to burn the fortress too. They're actually burning the fortress. They probably will be successful at doing so. It'll take a little bit for that to happen, but this was a great play. Regardless, the folks of 279 and the folks of light are still ahead 4-2, and we will most likely have one more video to wrap up how this event works out, as 5 days remain and still anything could happen. With that being said, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Don't forget to drop a like on it if you enjoy the content and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Thank you for all your continuous support. The madness that's been lately. You guys have been super supportive, subscribing, sending me messages, sending me reports, sending me information. You guys are the best community out there. Thank you for making my dreams slowly and steadily come true. And I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Take care. Peace.